Hi everyone, it's Graham again and welcome back to my channel. So today I am here with my February reading wrap up. I read 7 books in February and yeah, I think I had quite a good reading month. So without much further ado, let's dive in. So the first one that I've got to show you is a really short little read that I absolutely adored. This is the story of Babar the Little Elephant by Jean de Brunhoff. This is a picture book from the well, this book isn't from the 1930s, but the story was originally published then. And it just speaks of a young elephant whose mother sadly is killed, and he runs off to the city and meets up with a wealthy lady who educates him, and then he decides to go back to the jungle or the forest, and he becomes the king of the elephants. A gorgeous little story. I actually had to then go online and purchase more of these. Not in this size. I've purchased a collection which is like quite a big book, so the pictures are bigger. But yeah, this is lovely, and I remember the animated series of this from when I was a child, and it was one of my favourite things on TV. It's just so lovely. Then I have this one, which I had in a previous haul just recently. This is Jack and Ori, and it's King Arthur, The Sword from the Lake, and this is by, who is the author? Marilyn Fox. This tells the story of Morgan Le Fay, who was the sister of King Arthur, or the half-sister, and it talks of how she disliked her brother and she wanted to oust him from the throne of England, and about the dark magic that was used, and Merlin, and all the battles that were had in the time of King Arthur. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. I would love to find more of these Jack and Ori books, because a lot were published back in the 70s and 80s. So yeah, I enjoyed that. So another book that I have to show you is More Tales from Beatrix Potter by Beatrix Potter. So in this book we have The Tale of Squirrel Nutkin, the story of a fierce bad rabbit, the story of Miss Moppet, and the tale of Samuel Whiskers, or the roly-poly pudding. I loved this, full of gorgeous watercolour paintings by the incredibly talented, oops, dearie me, almost thrown it across the room, by the incredibly talented Beatrix Potter. These stories are very much of their time. They're lovely, but very dark, and I think for a child could be quite scary, but yeah, enjoyable nonetheless, and a beautiful piece of art as well. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Then we have this one, which I really enjoyed, because it kind of made me think of my experiences growing up as a young gay kid in the sort of the 90s and the 2000s. This is Strange Boy by Paul Magrs, and it tells the story of, oh, what's his name again? It tells the story of David, who is a 10-year-old boy growing up in the late 70s and early 80s, and how he is discovering that he's not too interested when it comes to thinking about dating girls. He's more interested in his friend John, the 14-year-old boy who lives down the street. It also talks about broken families and step families, and you know, absent fathers and arguing parents and all that crazy stuff. And it really resonated with me, because I've been through all that with broken down families and step families, and growing up and realizing that I wasn't attracted to girls and all that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was just lovely. If you get a copy of this, I highly recommend that you read it immediately, because it's a lot of fun. Maybe not the right words to choose, but yeah, it was fun seeing life from another person's perspective, something that was quite similar to the way I was brought up and my experiences, but not fun in that perspective, if that makes sense. I'm digging a hole, but I know what I mean. I hope you do too. But yeah, lovely story. Then we have a book that I started reading, I think it was October or November last year, so 2021. This is The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinkowski. This is a Fairy Loot edition, which I picked up on eBay. It's gorgeous. I don't know why I got halfway through and stopped reading it, but I did. So yeah, I was looking for something to read after I'd finished this guy, and saw this on the shelf with a bookmark halfway through, and I just powered through the rest of it, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. A group of people, they are going through a mountain, and they're looking for an ore called Loveite, which is worth a lot of money. They're outcasts, and yeah, it was fun. It was a good YA novel, and I think I may have pre-ordered the second book. I'm not sure if it's a duology or a trilogy, but yes, I have pre-ordered the next one because it was fun. The next one is a book that I audiobooked, and I absolutely thought this was so dark, so up my street. Took me a while to finish and to read or listen to, purely because like my last job came to an end, my new job started, stress levels were through the roof, and actually my stress levels since I started this new job 2.5 weeks ago have never been so low, and I feel like a completely different person. But yes, there we go. That's another story for another day. But yes, this was Luckenbooth by Jenni Fagan. This tells the story of the devil's daughter who comes to live in a tenement block, a block of apartments in Edinburgh in 1910, and over the next 90 years, bad stuff happens in this block, and it affects the lives of people who live in the apartment block in Edinburgh. Very dark, very just very dark and so enjoyable. I would probably read this again, either physically or listen to it, and I cannot wait for the 17th of March because my husband Duncan and I are going to Topping and Company for the launch, a launch event for Jenni Fagan's next book, which is called Hex, and I believe it's about witches. So yes, I'm excited for that, but this was very good, and I would reread it again, and I would recommend that if you grab a copy, that you read it too. Then lastly, which was probably the first book I read in February, was Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. This was February's I'm doing February's wrap-up, Graham. Of course it was February's pick. February's pick for Christie Fest, which is hosted by Julie, the Hungry Bookworm, and Lil from Lil's Vintage World. And I love this book. This is probably like in my top 3 of Agatha Christie books. Probably sits somewhere like number 2. But yeah, Death on the Nile, set in Egypt on a paddle steamer. It has everything that Agatha Christie is amazing at. It has murder, it has mystery, it has Poirot, and it deals with money and deceit, love, lust, and just everything that makes Agatha Christie's works so good. And this was fabulous. I think this is probably about my 3rd or 4th read of this, and there will be more in the future because it's one of her masterpieces. It's just fabulous. But that is the end of my reading wrap-up for February. I feel like I had a really good month, and yeah, from what I said earlier on about my stress levels from my new job, I'm really enjoying my new job. I've never felt happier. it's a lot of information for me to take in. Every day is like an info dump, but I feel, you know, at the end of the day, I can switch off my laptop and I don't have to have my phone glued to me. It's amazing. I don't have to be beholden to anyone or to anticipate that someone is going to contact me with an issue and a problem, and I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to get my days off that week because someone's phoned in sick and I have to cover. It's just incredible. I feel so valued, I feel so respected, and I've never felt better. But before I go on and chat about things that aren't books, which is what we're all here for, I shall say thank you so much for watching. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have so much fun doing it. Whatever you're reading, I hope you love it. Stay fabulous, be amazing, be yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye bye.